yes. Look at that. So basically what I've done is I've spoken to PCBWay, who, if you haven't heard of them, offer a great range of 3D printing services as well as PCB making services. And I asked if they wanted to make the watch in resin, just to sort of test out their services. I figured a lot of you guys might want to give this a go. You may have an FDM printer and want to try resin, or you might not have a 3D printer at all. So I thought, let's give it a go. That is really smooth. There's no layer lines on that. I've ordered 2 of each part. Let's run through what we've got. Certainly comes well packaged. Here we have it. We've got the case. A little bit actually. So this is a TPW version 1, printed in white resin. The resolution is just on a different level compared to what you might be used to with an FDM printer. That is really nice. I'm going to have to try some other colours. So that's the case. We've then got the bezel. Equally looks nice. This is the movement bracket for an NH35. This specific setup is going to be for an NH35 build. We've got a crown, which they've managed to get that fine detail in there. That wall there is only 0.42, I believe, and it might be 0.8, but basically pushing the limits of your wall thickness. And then that's the case back. Now the finish of it, it might not come up so well in camera, but it's not 100% smooth. There were some options for better finishing, so maybe next time I could try some of those. Without further ado, let's see if we can actually build this into a watch. So normally I'd be going for finger cots and all the rest of it, but let's just get something working together. I'm probably going to pull the parts from an existing build and put it in here, just because we don't need to see the hands and the dial getting assembled. Okay, so I'm going to pop the glass in, just pop it straight in there nicely. There we go, and that's in. Now we take the chapter ring, just sort of sit it in there, get it just about in, and use the crystal press to just push down. There we go. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, to save a bit of time, I'm going to disassemble an existing TPW. There we go. Right, so there's the NH35 in all its glory. So first I just need to remove the stem. It's actually been quite a while since I've worked on this movement, as much as we all love it. Right, there's the existing stem. And now I just need to look at that. So it fits perfectly in our new bracket. That was absolutely spot on, that. And of course, because it fits in there, it's going to fit in there. Oh my days. That is looking beautiful. I think I'm going to keep it in this case. Wow. Okay, so the next thing is the case back. So let's put that on there. So this is the test that we've got on here. And I'm getting a little bit of resistance. Actual perfect amount of resistance. Oh man. This has actually worked a lot better than I was expecting. I was expecting it to either be too, I don't know, just everything fits far better than it does when you 3D print it yourself, which doesn't say a lot about my 3D printing capabilities, but this has got to be the way to go for resin printing. Look at that. So the final piece is to actually install the stem. Now, Will this... No. That's not a bad thing. It just means we're going to have to glue it. Which is easy enough. Let me just grab some glue. For resin printing, the hole is just a bit too big, and I rely on the sort of expansion of the PLA to allow the stem to tap into the hole to make the thread. So that's really the only setback. It's too accurate, and actually that hole's way too big. I'm not going to get any connection on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to reuse my existing one, if it'll let me now. This, in theory, should just pop straight back in. Lining up perfectly. Oh, no. Bit too short. My bodgeness, that's a word. That's it now. There we go. Oh, that's interesting. There's actually a bit of wiggle in the movement. Now, I wonder what that could be. Yeah, we can see there this gap. That's going to be what's causing us the problem. This gap is way too... Yeah, you shouldn't be able to do that. That shouldn't be able to lift out. You saw with this one how I had to force it in, or force it out even. Let's try and use a movement bracket from one we know works. So this is my VH31 build that I recently posted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the internals of this and put them in this new case. So this is the VH31. The resin movement bracket that is causing us issues, not the case. If it was the case, we'd probably get a bit of wiggle here as well. All white. We're going to need a white strap, aren't we? There's no other option. It's got to be white. Pop them in there. So there we have it. I'm going to wear it about a bit, see how I get on with it, and come back to you with any other things that may occur. So after filming that initial build video, I decided to do a little bit of investigation into what exactly was going on with this movement bracket. And what I discovered was that the resin prints are far more accurate than what I've been printing with my FDM printer in PLA. And what I've done is I've actually allowed a 0.2mm tolerance in between the movement bracket and the case. So with normal PLA, there's a little bit of expansion, and as they both expand a little bit, it's not noticeable. And what you actually find is it's a lot easier to put the movement in and out. And that's why I did it originally, so that you weren't going to break your movement as you pull it out the case. And it was a lot easier to get in, of course. But because the tolerances are far better on these, it's printed it exactly how it's been modelled. So that 0.2mm clearance is too much. The easy solution to this is I just need to remodel the movement bracket so it matches the exact internal as the case. Now be pleased to hear I've already done this, and anybody that has already downloaded the V1 should have had an update containing the movement bracket at the correct dimension. So there'll be two to choose from. There'll be one that is a perfect fit, and there'll be a one that you're used to. So if you've already printed this in PLA and you're printing it in PLA on a standard FDM printer, it's nothing to worry about. If you're going down the route of resin, I'd try the new movement bracket that's got a little bit of tolerance. I hope that makes sense. Sorry if I'm waffling a little bit, but hopefully that should clear things up. So full disclosure, PCBWay have paid for all these parts to be made for me. I reached out to them and just asked, you know, I've got a 3D printed channel, I'm wanting to get these watches made in resin. Is it something you'd be interested in doing? And they said, yeah, of course. So they've paid for all the parts to be made. They haven't had any editorial power over this video. They won't even see it before it goes out. PCBWay are one of those companies which I've used quite a bit in a personal and in my work. I've used their PCB making services and the CNC machining services a couple of times in the past and paid out of my own pocket or the company's pocket. And I've always been very impressed with their service. You send the files off, an actual human reviews them and gets back to you if there's any discrepancies. If there isn't, it just goes through, you make payment, and then usually takes sort of 3 to 4 days, and then they ship it out to you. And yeah, what can I say? The service and the website is so easy to use. If you haven't checked it out, the link's in the description. I've actually got a referral link, and what that'll do is give you a $5 coupon and give me a $5 coupon on your first order. So if you'd be so kind, please do use that. But unfortunately, that is all we've got time for today. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give this video a like. If there's anything that you think I've missed or you want me to go over again in a little bit more detail, put it in the comments and let me know. But as I say, happy printing, and I'll see you in the next one.